What's up, West Island? I'm Keith, and this is my story.
The last straw just broke. I'm a lion in your tasteless joke. What's up with that heart you've stolen? Don't worry, cause it's not broken, it's just swollen. Anticipate how you feeling from day to day. Well, I've got you now, that you're needing. Don't worry, cause they're laughing and you're bleeding.
We'll recycle that for the lift they go again, buddy.
I'm not worried cause there's 5 minutes to your glory. Well, I'm drowning in your ocean. It's much cooler. It's slow motion.
Step and away he goes. Society Police up into the 22. High risk class.
I was born in 1987 here in Hong Kong. I grew up in Port Fulham. I went to Kennedy School like some of you here today, and then when the time came I moved up the hill to West Island. Sports has always been a passion of mine. As a kid I loved sports. I pretty much played everything. I played rugby, I played football, I played cricket. When I went to West Island I carried these sports on, as well as being forced to do cross country and athletics. My year happened to be a strong sporting year. Throughout my time at West Island we were in contention to win many things. The most memorable moment for me being when we won the Jingying Schools Football Championship, which basically is like the best of the best. And all of this helped me achieve another highlight of my school life when I was chosen as the Inter-School Sports Boy of the Year. Although I remember it being a terrible, terrible failure. Speaking from experience, there are certain people that really have a great impact on your lives. You may not realize it at the time, but decisions you make now will almost certainly shape your future. For me, teachers like Mr. Jung, Mr. Trennan, they were all part of my development as a rugby player. There was Mr. Ray, my form tutor in year 12 and 13, that was really important to me. He advised me not only on rugby, but on school, university choices, life in general. And without him, I probably wouldn't be standing in front of you today. Not forgetting Mr. Lant. When he arrived at West Island, we were in Division 3 of the Inter-Schools competition for most sports. By the time I left West Island, we were up there with the best schools in Division 1. He was my PE teacher, my football coach, great role model. We're all lucky to be at a school with someone like him. As I grew older, I started to concentrate more on football and rugby. And through several years of messing about with my friends, my teammates, attending training sessions, I managed to actually get quite good. I left West Island in 2005 to go to university in Nottingham in the UK. 3 years of great weather. I got my degree just as the credit crunch started, and then It's no surprise that sacrifices have to be made in order to get where you want to be. And if you look at the top athletes like your Tiger Woodses, your Johnny Wilkinsons, they've all had to dedicate their lives to their training, in order to be the best and the superstars that they are today. For me, my sacrifices involve missing out on a few things growing up. I didn't get to go to all the parties. I didn't get to hang out with my friends as much as I would have liked. Instead, I stayed at home. I went to the gym in an effort to get bigger. Just some of the stuff that every teenager goes through. I know there are some of you here today who have been put under peer pressure to do things you don't want to do, to do drugs, and stuff. It's hard to say no. I was lucky enough to have one of my friends, a guy called Andrew Russell. I know for a fact that some of you know him, and he was in a very similar position to me. We both took our sport very seriously, and together we helped each other resist a huge amount of pressure from our friends, to do stuff. And was it worth it? Let's see. I got my first invitation to join the national sevens team as a development player when I was in year 13. Wednesday mornings I went down to One Try Stadium to do some training before going to school. And it was hard, but 2 years later I ran out onto the pitch of the Hong Kong Sevens. It's something I always aspired to. To realise that dream, it was awesome. Like most things, however, good times are often accompanied with bad times. Everyone experiences setbacks and disappointments, highs and lows. And on top of injuries and illnesses, there is always the disappointment of losing. I was given some wise words. If we lost the game, we used to say,
"Forget the loss, don't forget the lesson."
As a kid, I was always one of the smallest. I still am the smallest. And when you ask people what they think of, rugby players and the stereotypes, you usually get things like
massive, like me.
Absolute lads.
Big muscles.
Big boys.
Strong.
Definitely not him.
Compare this to what people describe me as.
Midget.
You're really swollen and ugly.
Baby-faced assassin.
A scrawny little rollerblader.
Diseased is what I think he is.
Bloody massive.
Pint-sized.
And you can see you don't always have to fit the stereotype, to play any sport at a high level. I used to get picked up all the time. I still do.
This is good play from Hong Kong, not panicking, going into contact. Wow, he's been picked up. Doesn't it? That's the sort of thing you see on WWF.
And the commentators seem to have it in for me as well.
Baby-facedy maybe.
Getting across was today's birthday boy, 21 years of age. How do you like that, Willie? What do you reckon he really is? About 12, 13?
Well, I don't even think he knows what a razor is. One of the smallest players in the world. Good determination, a bit like a chihuahua on a Great Dane.
Another important thing I've learned, is to be humble. Whether you win or lose, it's always important to remember why we play the sports that we do. Our new national coach, a guy called WIS, has a philosophy that
Good people make good rugby players.
being an athlete is more of a way of life. It's not for everyone, and it's tough at times. But from a personal point of view, I wouldn't have it any other way. Sports has given me so much. A chance to meet friends, to engage my competitive side, to relieve stress, to travel the world, to have fun and to achieve things I dreamed about as a kid. If anybody tells you that a student's growing up playing sports in Hong Kong, there is nowhere you can go with it, or nothing you can achieve in the future, then you just got to say to them,
Yes, we can.
I'll be home tonight. I'm coming back home.
well, thanks West Island, that's my story, what's yours?